everyone. Thanks so much for tuning back in. I have some really good news and I'm extremely happy about it. I lost 2 pounds and I am very happy to see that change. And I said in my last video when I did my monthly recap of my fitness journey so far, of how much weight, everything, stuff that I needed to change or whatnot. And one of the things, I listed 2 main things in there. And one of the things that I said I was going to change was I was going to be more cardio focused. So I amped up the cardio. I started going back to the gym, and that fared me pretty well. So I started going back to the gym more consistently, I'll say that. And I was extremely satisfied when I stepped on the scale, because I ended up I increased actually a little bit. I think not last week, maybe the week before, I increased in pounds. I think I went up to like 158 or something like that. I'm not quite sure how much I went. I think it was 158. I'll post the weigh-ins at the end of the video. But yeah, I ended up increasing in weight. So, I got a little bummed out, but that's just how it is when you're on a weight loss journey. The scale isn't always going to be nice. It's not going to be your friend all the time. So, and I had to realize some of the things that I may have been doing incorrectly, or, something I need to change, what worked for me in the past. Those are the things that I began to look at. So that's exactly what I did. So I amped up my cardio. And I said another thing was the counting calories. I said I was going to stop counting calories, okay, because sometimes I got a little bit too anal about the calories and, become a little bit obsessive with it, and it wasn't working for me. I would eat and eat just to, get those amount of calories that I needed to get in, according to the app, but I was feeling very stuffed and full, and it was just too much for me. So, I just pretty much went back to what I was doing before. When I lost weight back then, when I was a lot more smaller and toner, I just, a lot more smaller and toned. I just went back to what I knew, what my body liked the most. I pretty much ate when I was hungry, and I stopped when I was full, and that was pretty much it. I didn't just eat just to make up those calories, and it just doesn't work for me. For some people it may work for them, but for me, not so much. I always say simple is best, and you gotta know your body and listen to your body. And what works for other people may not work best for you. So I did. I listened to my body, and I felt like, my body is getting back centered the way it's supposed to be, the way I'm used to eating, and it's really responding to it well, versus just eating just to eat calories and when you're not really hungry. So yeah, that fared me pretty well, and just keeping in tune to what your body likes and just what it responds to, and that's exactly what I did. So yeah, so I made those changes, and those were the main 2 changes that I made. I noticed that the pounds that I did gain, to be honest, they more than likely were pounds from like water weight, because I love flavor in my food. And so a lot of the condiments that I use, maybe they had a little bit too much sodium in them. So I did cut back on, my sodium content. I don't want to hold on to a lot of extra water weight. So I, just cut back and eased up on how much of the condiments that I was using, because I'm still going to flavor my food. I don't use salt. If I do, it's the Himalayan pink salt, but however, condiments do have the sodium in there, and I think I was using just a little bit too much of the condiments. So yeah, so I eased back on that a little bit, and just monitor how much I was using, and just made sure I had some good flavor in my foods without oversaturating, or just putting too much on there for my liking. So yeah, that was the main thing. And so yeah, and I also cut back on breads too, because I noticed that I was consuming a little bit too much bread. And I noticed when I was 10 pounds lighter, I didn't eat that much bread. So whether it's wheat or flaxseed, spelt bread, whatever the case is, I had to cut back on that too, because I just don't eat. I don't really buy loaf bread like that, and it was in the house, so I was like, I want to go on and use it because it's here. So after that last loaf was gone, I was like, okay, I don't really need to buy any more bread unless I'm like making a veggie burger or something like that. Then of course I go out and get some buns. I'm not gonna completely just cut off my breads, but I did limit those, so not really eating a lot of breads or anything like that. And I love bread. It's one of my weaknesses. It's definitely something that I just love to eat, especially garlic bread. I love garlic bread. So, that's my weakness. A lot of people weaknesses are sweets or something like that sometimes, and I know some other people weaknesses is bread too, and I would happen to fall into that category. So I just have to limit the amount of breads that I eat. So yeah, that's the main thing. Definitely gonna keep going with my cardio, and I'm just gonna have to switch it up though, cause if you're like me, you get extremely bored doing stuff, habitually. And I just get extremely bored. Jogging is my first love. I love to go outside. I love to jog in the park where there are trees and nature. I love nature, and I love the scenery, and I would like to get back to jogging. So it's the only thing is not too many places. There are parks here, but they're like circle parks, and I would get bored just jogging in circles. So I don't think that's gonna work too much, but I may go like 2 days out the week, just to at least get me that feeling that I love to get when I do jog. So I may incorporate that back in there to switch it up, to keep things going, and so I won't get bored, because I like the gym. I like going to the gym, but at the same time, I like being outdoors too. And I know it's approaching, winter will be here around the corner. Fall is just now getting cool here, so I am very happy about that. It's kind of like in that in-between weather where it's not hot and it's not too cold either, so I can still get out and enjoy the outdoor weather a little bit. So yeah, so that's pretty much everything that I've changed so far. I'm gonna post all my weights in here somewhere so you can see exactly how much weight I've lost so far. And like I said, I've lost 2 pounds from my initial weight when I first started this journey. I think it was like 157. Yeah, I think it was 157. So, and I'm down now to like 155. So I've lost 2 pounds from my initial weigh-in, but in between that initial weigh-in, I gained a little bit. So I'm going to put that weight up there as well and just group that total so you can see how many pounds I've lost in total, and also to see like how important it is to get our diet straight, because like I said, I was it could have just been the sodium condiments that I was consuming that made me gain the weight or something like that. You know, our bodies are quite sensitive, so you know, it could have been anything. But yeah, those are the main two things, and I'm very, very excited about the journey. I'm definitely gonna stay in high spirits about it, whether you know I gain or whether I lose. I'm just gonna continue the process and just continue to move forward in it, and every step of the way, just love each step of it, and also, you know, remember to love yourself at each stage that you're in, because you know you only have one you. So as long as you're doing your best and trying your hardest, you know, give yourself a lot of credit, because you know you could definitely be doing something else unproductive or something like that. So definitely give yourself credit, and you know, love yourself at each stage of this journey, whether it's a weight loss journey or any other journey that you're on. Just continue to move forward and just keep loving yourself. So yeah, I'm very excited about it, and I'm just gonna continue, and I'm definitely gonna be recording more videos of the weight loss journey, and other videos as well. So thank you so much for watching, and tune back in.